Building a career is hard, especially these days when there's no straightforward path. It used to be that you'd start out at the bottom, work hard, and eventually get promoted. But nowadays, it's much less straightforward. There are no typical jobs anymore, and in a growing complex workforce, it can be tricky navigating your path and building a solid career. Here are 5 things I wish I knew when I was starting out. 5 things that I've learned that you can benefit from. So let's talk about what I learned that you can benefit from. When you're starting off, you're going to be figuring out how you are going to do your job well. And that's great because you need to be competent and you need to learn how to develop your skill set. But if you want to start looking at how to build your career path, then the best tip I can give you is try and figure out how to add value to those around you. It doesn't matter where you are in your career, whether it's your first job or whether you are moving up into management or you've been a manager for a while. Those that are able to move up the ladder through their career path are those that figured out how to add value to those around them. Now, that could be adding value to your manager, that could be adding value to the people that you're sitting next to, or it could be adding value to people in different departments and different parts of the organization. But if you can figure out how to add additional value, then people are going to start looking at you as a really good employee and someone that's really beneficial to their business. So it might be that you've been employed as a programmer or you've been employed as a project manager. Whatever you've been employed with, start figuring out how you can add extra benefit to other people. That could be showing other people how to put together a project plan, or it could be showing other people how to code something in a particular way, or it could be your organizational skills. Whatever it is, start showing people how to do things in the way that you can do them. If you start figuring out how to make things more efficient, or if you have a really good process for something, start sharing that. Start telling your manager or other people how that you can do things, and then start passing that information on. And you'll find that as you pass this information around, you'll begin to add more value, not just to your colleagues, but to your managers and to everyone. One of the biggest drawbacks to someone's career is when they try and be a lone wolf, or what we call the lone genius. If you try and do everything yourself and you're one of these people that are just trying to solve all the problems and then tell everyone else how to solve the problem, that's not actually as valuable to people as if you try and facilitate and work together with people. It could be that you say, I know how to do this part or solve this part of the problem, but I don't know how to solve this part of the problem. Can you help me? And you can either go up to your manager or you can get other people together. But essentially what you want to do is try and move forward in a collaborative approach. So people that are thinking, oh, that person's worth promoting, or I'm going to keep an eye on that person, always tends to be the person that is facilitating the collaboration with other people, especially if they're a stakeholder in what you're doing. So if you're inviting people to have a say in how you do things or how you can benefit them, then you're going to really be seen as the person that's adding value to everybody else. You're going to be seen as the person that they really want on your team because you're collaborative with everybody. Something that I learned in my career is that there is no one way to deal with a problem. There isn't just one solution to solve every single problem. And different companies and different cultures and different ways of doing things call on different techniques or approaches. And what you might find is that even if you've done something before and you try and push a framework on something, it won't work as well as when you did it before. And the reason is because you might be in a different situation. So what I would encourage you to do at this point is to experiment with different techniques, experiment with different ways of approaching a problem, and actually say to everyone, listen, this has worked well for me in the past, but I don't know if it's going to work here. So what we're going to do is I'm going to give you my approach. Please contribute with what you think, and then let's try this approach, and if it doesn't work, we'll adjust it and try something else. I actually did this a few times when I was installing a roadmap framework. in software companies. So essentially what happens is that when you want to build a piece of software over the course of a year or 2 years, you need to kind of understand what you're going to be building over the next increment. So I've done this in the past where I've tried to build roadmap frameworks. And what I mean by a roadmap framework is that when you are building software and you've got a lot of things that you need to build, you've got a lot of different teams, you need a roadmap to kind of guide you how, when you're going to build certain things throughout the quarter or the half year or the year. And building a roadmap process is really difficult because no one size fits all. You can have a roadmap process, a way of developing a roadmap in one company, and it just won't work in a different company because you've got different people, different legacy, different technologies. So what I always used to do is I used to approach this by saying, look, this is the way I've done it in the past. We're going to try it this way, but every quarter we're going to learn what went wrong last quarter and we'll adjust. We'll get better at it as we go along. And that way I was able to get everybody's buy-in. I was able to persuade people to try it my way. And then if it didn't work, it didn't work. We would just adjust and then move on. But at least we were moving forward with the improvements. So experiment with things. Don't think that your answer is the answer. Managers, department heads, team leaders, executives all love one thing: information. They love visibility. They love to know where things are in a given point. So if there is a project that's running, they want to know where you are in the project and how it's going. If someone is building a bit of software, they want to know how far advanced with you and where they are in a product life cycle so they can sell it. If there's a big marketing campaign going on, they want to know how is that marketing campaign going and how many things have you sold. Everybody needs this information, and the thing that I wish I knew right at the beginning of my career is that if you put together Gantt charts and you put together Excel dashboards, then that gives people so much visibility and they love you for it. So if you don't know what a Gantt chart is, I do have a video on Gantt charts, go and check it out. It's essentially what you're doing and when you're going to be doing it. So you'll have a list of tasks down the left hand side, you'll have a bunch of dates on the top, like January, February, March, etc. And they'll just be, and the Gantt chart just shows when you are going to attempt those things in the project. If you put together a Gantt chart, then you're going to be showing the overview of where you are, and you can actually point to you can point to the Gantt chart and say, we're there, we're behind, we're ahead. It's a really powerful way of giving the overview. And Excel dashboards are amazing. It really makes executives feel comfortable. Learn how to put together pivot tables and work with data tables and pivot charts. If you can put together a dashboard on the cost of something or how things are stacking up in a particular project, then it's a really powerful combination, especially if you have Gantt charts and Excel dashboards together. You put that into a presentation, then people are going to really feel comfortable that you know what you're talking about, and they're going to think, this person is one that we need to, worth keeping on, because we need to know what that person knows. I found that when I was developing my reputation in companies and I was really starting to grow a stature, it seemed to coincide with the decisions that I made around helping people. I would help people wherever I could, as long as it didn't detriment my work personally. I started building networks and relationships. I would help people out. I would do as many favors as I could. I would go out of my way to help my colleagues and my manager, and I would even put on training sessions for people in different departments if I knew something that they didn't. The more I helped people, the more I built relationships. The more I built relationships, the more I could network. And then it meant that I could actually get things done. So I could get things moving through a company because I would do people favors and I would go out of my way to help people, which meant that when it came to my turn, they would then help me. So I was always able to be the guy that got stuff done, and managers used to love it. They used to come to me and say, like, Dean, can you do this thing because you can get this thing moving through the company? What I would do is go to all my contacts and my network, and I would say, listen, I really need you to, push this thing through for me. The more things I did for people, the more that worked really, really well. So help as many people as you can, and then that's going to come back and pay you dividends. So they're good tips for you. They're 5 really good tips I wish I knew that when I was started out. If these tips are helping you, then please like and subscribe and help the channel grow. I would really appreciate it. And of course, if you want to comment in the comments below about anything that you want advice on, then I will make a video on it. Until then, take care.